Okay, so this is about as off the cuff as you can get and as random as you can get. This is the second video I've posted on YouTube. It's not going to be that good. I'm just posting it to post it, kind of like I did for the first video. So to give some context here and to not sound like I'm talking out of my butt, when I was a little kid, I saw Army of Darkness. It had a great camera work. It was really funny. I thought it was amazingly done, and I always thought that was my favorite movie of all time. It started to become just pure nostalgia, but I always loved that movie, and I'll always love that movie, and for the longest time I thought, this is my dog by the way, he's kind of out of control, but for the longest time I thought I would always consider it my favorite movie of all time. And ever since I saw Army of Darkness, it's always been my favorite movie of all time, and I started to believe it would never, I got animals all around me. I started to believe it would never be topped, but I was proved wrong tonight, because I just saw Man of Steel, and it topped it. My new favorite movie of all time. Man of Steel. It sounds stupid to call a movie the greatest movie of all time. It does sound stupid. But my God! Man of Steel, it's got this, the theme, the score is really, really, really infectious, and it gets in your head and it doesn't leave, and it just says, I'm staying in your head! And well, basically, the movie, once you got 1 hour left to go, it becomes just one big long fight scene, which doesn't sound good, but it looks so impressive. And every scene of this one big long fight scene tops the last scene of this one big long fight scene. It just becomes more and more and more visually impressive and more visually stunning. Like, the camera work is really well done. The visuals are really well done. There's nothing that looks quite as visually impressive. Like, this movie is like, will like make love to your eyes, and you're like, we just met. I'm not ready for that kind of commitment. Well, it's just making out with your eyes. Like, it looks really good. Like you've never seen, and the theme is really good, and it tries to blend sci-fi with superhero movie, and it does a good job. It feels like a really good sci-fi movie, and it feels like a really good superhero movie. It's the perfect blend. It's so cool that they try to mix those two things. That's cool. And they try some risky new ideas with Superman. Some of it works really well. It kind of, like, you feel like his powers has limits, and he's like really down on his luck, and he gets hurt really bad. Often with Superman, you know he'll win, you'll know he'll kick butt, you'll know he'll win no matter what. But in this, it's really more even Steven. He might win, he might lose. They really make it feel like his life's on the line and he could screw up this time. Like, there's some edge to the battles, and they're passionate and they're rough battles. Like, everything's on the line. You gotta see it. Why are you seeing it right now? Like, wow. It's really, like, they rework how Superman becomes Superman. Like, this is an origin story, but it doesn't really fit with his original origin. But you know what? I like this origin story. It makes more sense why he becomes a reporter. It's actually really well explained, and the movie kind of leads up to it. It's kind of how it ends. I just spoiled the ending, but it's really cool that they put that in there at the ending as kind of like a little wink, wink. And it has some light jokes, but they are funny, and just all the alien tech looks so good. I know I'm just going on and on about how good it looks, but you gotta understand it just looks really, really good, so you have a hard time going on about other stuff. You do. The animals are taking over! Anyways, you have to see this movie. See it! please. Anyways, chances are you won't think it's the greatest movie ever made, but you might, because I do, and I don't say that lightly either. Army of Darkness was my greatest movie for like years upon years upon years upon years upon years, and I thought it would never be topped, and it just got topped. It got topped. The paradox. This stuff can't happen. It's amazing. That score is going to be stuck in my head for a week, for 2 weeks at least. 2 weeks. Score in head. Great score, and I like the theme. It has a great theme about, environment impacting mentality. Like Zod was bred for war, so all he wants is war, and he was born and raised to fight. Can you really blame him for still fighting? It's all he knows, it's all he has, and that's an interesting theme. He's not really a villain, he's a villain because his world made him one. Can you blame him for that? That's an interesting question, and the movie asks that. Can he be considered a villain if his society forced him to be one? That's interesting. Like, if he was the one sent to Earth and was not genetically engineered, maybe he wouldn't be a villain. The movie asks that, and that's an interesting question, and that's a deep theme. It actually makes you think a little, and that's good. So, good theme, well done. All the characters well played. All the acting was good. Like, you don't notice it because the visuals are so good, but the acting is good too. Good acting from everybody. Especially the guy who played Superman. He did a good job, and especially the guy who played Zod, he did a really good job. Great Zod. I love that Zod. So great acting, great visuals, really, really great score. Some nifty camera work. If you like camera work, there's some nifty camera work, some amazing visuals. Like, there's this scene where the city is just dust, and it's like they're walking on the moon, but they're in New York. It is mind-blowing. Like, they're in New York, but it's like they're walking on the moon because there's just ash of the city left. You've never seen anything like that. It's like the world is not our world. It's been terraformed and changed into the moon. The moon! I'm not going to say anymore because I don't want to spoil it, but you gotta see it! The glory! It's really good. Really good. Army of Darkness is still, Bruce Campbell is still my god. I have not abandoned him, but it's really good. Really good movie.